Good morning, Wednesday. The fog's lifted. We're over at the Garage Mahal, DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, where the great Earnhardt built an empire. We just left Petty Enterprises, the new Petty Enterprises, over at Robert Yates' old shop.
But I got to split my time now in my businesses in Level Crossing and my business here. But it's not a deal where I'm going to stay in Level Crossing and let Robbie and Dale and Kyle and them run this place. I'm going to be over here aggravating the people too.
Okay.
Richard, the reason you're here is because of a guy who wanted to pretty much get out of racing. I know you've cut back on your involvement a little bit lately, or last 10 years. But how much do you think about I've had enough?
No, I tell you, I've been doing this since I was 11 years old. So it's not. I'm not in a situation that Robert was in. Or I don't know what his circumstances were or whatever. But he looked at it different deal. He used to work for somebody else, and then he had his engine program, and then he got into the racing business. And if you listen to Robert and look at some of his things that he said in the past, he never was really that big on race cars in the first place. He was an engine man, and he's still an engine man. So now he's got rid of his race car. I started not as an engine man. I started as a race car deal at 11 years old. So I'm still in that zone, and I don't see a lot of changes coming.
Are you wearing out Highway 150?
Yeah, so every once in a while I go 152 just to break it up. I told them, why didn't they do give me a helicopter, and then I can land back out here, but I don't think I'm trying to.
What would Lee have to say about this move, Richard?
That would have been interesting. I don't think he would have let us move. He would have went down fighting in Level Cross. That was he had one. He was that stubborn. Okay, I mean, if he said that's the way it's going to be, he was going to work that hard and make it work. So he would have said, okay, you're going to stay in Level Cross now. Figure out how you can still win like what we used to.
Do you wish now you'd made the move 10 years ago, 5 years ago?
Not yet. Okay, I'm on a. If we come out of here like Jack the Bear, then I'm gonna kick my butt for not doing it early. But I don't see a major change. I don't see it busting out of anything. I just see that it's the next step in busting out. I don't see us just doing it all in one race deal, 3 or 4 races, or even at the beginning of the year. Maybe by the middle of the year.
Two legendary operations going apparently in quite different directions. Where DEI heads this year without Dale Jr., who's down the road over at Rick Hendrick's for the season, we just don't know. Petty Enterprises, on the other hand, Richard the Randleman Rocket is there holding court, talking about the good old days, and he's got 60 years of good old days, and he's looking ahead. Moved to the Charlotte area just a few weeks ago, opened up for business. They seem to be going places. They think they are. We'll see how that goes too. Petty Enterprises. Richard Petty, 7-time champion. The NASCAR Stock Car Series. DEI. Dale Earnhardt Sr., 7-time champion. The only 2 guys to win 7 championships in this sport. A good comparison. Let's go inside and see what Teresa and Martin Truex and Paul Menard and everybody has to say about how things are going. So here we are at Hendrick Motorsports, the new home of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Got to admit that Teresa Earnhardt and John Story and the people over at DEI really didn't give us much to talk about, much to look at, much to listen to. We'll go inside here and see what Rick Hendrick has to say and what Dale Jr. has to say.
I think that you couldn't let that become pressure. But if you're excited and you're a racer and you want the best, you're happy about this situation.
You feel your performance will improve, not just because of the additional equipment, but you don't have the outside from it.
I think my performance is going to improve mostly because of the equipment, mostly because of the team that Rick's built, the company that Rick's has. I think that's really why my performance will improve. But we'll just have to see.
That has been the most unbelievable fun thing for me is how much fun we've had together, and me just giving him real life experiences that I've been through. going doing things with him. We've been fishing together and done some things. And just to see him, he's yearning for, his daddy taught him something that's probably the most important thing that he's got from anything. He and Kelly both respect people. They respect authority, they respect, they want to do what's right. There's two things they always say: I want to do what's right. And I think proof in is the way he hung in there, the way he did over there. And he doesn't want to be treated special.
Well, I mean, you know, I gotta admit, I haven't been a teammate of Junior's before. I don't know what his attitude was and some of those things.
But you're around him, you see him. I mean, you get a sense for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, he was pretty comfortable where he was at. And, you know, I think I've learned a lot about him since he's come to Hendrick. And what I've learned is that, you know, this is a guy that he cares a lot about, you know, his on-track performance. He cares a lot about what people think about him. And he wants to make a good impression, you know, and I think those are great things, you know, those are assets for us, and without him coming over here, you don't really know and see some of those things, and you know, I think that he fits very well here, and you know, I think that you know, while we were even questioning some of the same things that a lot of other people were about managing these high-profile drivers. I see it as that not really being an issue we're going to have to deal with.
Is his eagerness and anticipation, is that rubbing off on you guys? Is that contagious?
You know, absolutely. It's no different than Jimmy Johnson won back-to-back championships. That's motivation, you know, for us. And how Chad he communicate and go about it. Those are things for us to learn from and to grow from and to only become better. And same thing, you know, with Junior. When somebody fresh comes in and they do things a little bit different. Same thing with Casey last year. You know, you get to sometimes you get a little complacent and you get too comfortable, and so it's nice to see some of that refreshing excitement, especially when it's somebody like Dale Earnhardt Jr. That only, you know, rubs off on everybody else.
So it's been a pretty busy day so far. Not over yet. We've been with Rick Hendrick. We've been over DEI. We've been with the Petties, Robbie Loomis, Bobby Labonte. We've talked to a lot of people today, and it's not over yet. We've still got Michael Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, a lot of people on tap tonight. We're going to check out the Toyota bunch and see what's going on at Michael Waltrip's racing team, and then report back in. That's Mike Mulhern for the Winston-Salem Journal, journalnow.com. Wednesday, round 3, the NASCAR Charlotte Media Tour.